Russell Wilson benched, and I believe that he is taking too much heat. America, I will say it very simply and very succinctly. Russell Wilson gave the Denver Broncos Super Bowl Russ, but the Denver Broncos did not give Russell Wilson a Super Bowl environment. First, I will start with the numbers, though the numbers don't tell the whole story. Look at 2013 Russ, the year Russ won the Super Bowl. Then look at Russ this year. When you think about passing yards per game, comparable. Passing touchdowns, comparable. Giveaways, giveaways, comparable. How about game-winning drives? Comparable. Super Bowl Russ in 2013 is the same Russ that you are seeing this year. The dilemma is you're not seeing that Super Bowl defense. Now, I get it. That Legion of Boom, it was generational. But could you give me the 2015 Broncos defense? Could you give me Chris Harris? Could you give me Bradley Roby? Could you give me TJ Ward? Could you give me Aqib Talib? Could you give me Bobby Wagner? Could you give me Richard Sherman? Could you give me Earl Thomas? Could you give me Brandon Browner? Could you give me somebody on the opposite end? Russell Wilson fulfilled his end of the bargain. What I would submit to you is that the Denver Broncos did not fulfill their end of the bargain. And very simply put, I have to remind everyone, because I had to remind myself, money does not change a person. It just makes you more of who you are. So I don't want to hear, well, they paid Russell Wilson, so he had to be better. When they paid Josh Allen turned the ball over before he got money. He turned the ball over after he got money. Dak Prescott was a good quarterback who didn't win much in the playoffs before he got money. He's a good quarterback who hasn't won much in the playoffs since he got money. Lamar Jackson was a unanimous MVP before he got money. He's about to win MVP since he's got money. When you think about Justin Herbert, he was statistically impressive but didn't win a lot of games before he got money. He's statistically impressive and don't win a lot of games since he's got money. Joe Burrow was really good and injury prone before he got money. He's really good and he's injury prone since he's got money. Money don't change you. It makes you more of who you are. So how can you expect Russell Wilson to change since he got paid? Russ gave you Super Bowl Russ. I think James Jones, the Broncos, they didn't deliver their end of the Super Bowl bargain. Russ is taking too much heat. What do you think?
That's a really good take, my brother. That's a really good take right there. I got to agree with you. I definitely think Russ is taking too much of this blame. And the reason why is, it's not that we haven't seen star quarterbacks get benched before. We've seen that in our league. We'll see it again. But we've never seen a superstar quarterback, a Super Bowl champion quarterback like Russell Wilson get benched for playing good. Derek Carr's my brother from another mother. Last year, he was not playing good football for the Las Vegas Raiders. They chose to go otherwise. Matt Ryan, when he went to the Colts, was not playing good football, making a lot of money. They said, you know what, sit your butt down on this bench. But when you look at the Denver Broncos this year, they started off the season and the defense was hot garbage, right? Give up 70, giving up 260 rushing yards per game. They were not a good defense. But Russ was solid. Russ was playing good football. And they were losing games. When they were on the winning streak, the defense started getting hot, taking over the football, and Russ was still playing good football. Now these last two games, Russ is still being Russ. And yes, he turned the ball over in the Houston game and turned the ball over in that Patriot game. But Russ has been playing good football this season. So to say, I understand you can't change 5 linemen and do all that, but to really put this all on Russ and to really come at him and say, we want to take away this money for you. We don't want you to go out there and get injured. All this screams to me is Russ was never Peyton's guy. So we can say everything we want to say, but this screams to me that Russ was never Sean Payton's guy. Because if he was Sean Payton's guy, the way he's playing football right now, he would still be in there. And then you even hear the reports come out that if they won, this decision still was going to come. That lets me know that Russ is taking way too much of this, and Russ was never Peyton's guy, period.
More money, more problems.
More money, more
problems. Isn't that what they say?
That's what they said.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
What it really means is more money, different problems. Because when you're making $1.2 million and you win a Super Bowl, or whatever Russ was making before these contracts, that's great. But when you get paid great money, coming with it is great expectations. So maybe you are more of what you are when you get paid and money doesn't change you. Money changed me. I'm a different person, the more money that I make. I have different people around me. I have an accountant. I didn't need an accountant when I wasn't making no money. What are you going to account for?
We ain't got no bro. We put that in Wells.
There period. Okay, you worried about overdrafting your account when you don't have the money. Okay, there are expectations that come when you get paid a certain amount of money. That's how the world works. You make more money, you do more things. You work at a higher level. You get more responsibility. You get more praise. You get more blame. Everybody else who gets paid this kind of money, when they don't live up to their expectations, we say it's on the quarterback because they're the most important player on the field. They're the most valuable player on the field. Keep in mind, Russ also asked for this situation. He demanded it, in fact, you could argue. There were all kinds of problems in Seattle with him and the coach and the front office, and he had his agent put out a statement of where he wants to go. Russ forced his way out of Seattle. He's taking too much blame. This is a situation that Russ asked for. You're the quarterback. You make the most money. You're the face of the organization. Broncos Nation, let's ride. No, it's not all Russ's fault. But if we really get down into it, in a lot of these situations, it's not all the quarterback's fault. Many of the situations, it's not all the quarterback's fault. You have to be really, really, really obviously bad for it to be very obvious that this is just your fault. Of course, it's not all Russ's fault, but you make the most money, you get the most amount of blame. And at the end of the day, this is not about this year or next year. It's about 2025, because if he's not Sean Payton's guy, which I also suspect, and they don't want to have him there next year, which we all suspect, you have to, as an organization, consider what you're going to do down the road to have money to pay a new guy. Whether it works out or not, that is what this is all about.
Yeah. I think Russ is taking too much blame for this. Just because he's playing decent. Like, he is playing good. And I think that when we look at, like, the up and down year that the Broncos have had, you know, it was bad on both sides, offense and defense. But when we really watch Russ, he's getting better and better and better. He's been safe with the football. He's scoring touchdowns, right? And he is playing better than what we thought. Last year was a terrible year. And I don't even want to put that on Russ, right? The coach's staff was different, whatever. So you bring in Sean Payton. I do think what James was saying was right, that this is not his quarterback. And we've seen, like, coaches all the time have really, really good players, and it don't work. You don't fit my system. You don't fit my scheme. And I'm a coach, they paid me all this money to be here for the next 4 or 5 years, $18 million a year. Yeah. He gonna be around, right? Russ, this is in his second, new contract in his second year, correct? You never really see this. So that lets me know, okay, you didn't have plans to be my coach. You didn't have plans to be my quarterback. Let's move on from this. And next year, I don't think he'll be there. I think they're actually putting the writing on the wall that, look, Russ, we love you. You are having a good year, but you're not in our future. So as much as you want to put the blame on somebody, they putting it on Russ. Because the defense have been playing great all year. Not at all. Right? Other than Cortland Sutton, we don't really see no other weapons really making that many plays.
Not consistently.
Not consistently. The running game, I thought, would be tremendous. And it's been kind of up and down, right? So you got to look at Russ. He's the next person. The big name, big contract. Who else you going to blame? Yeah. So when you look at this, I think they're making him the scapegoat, and they're putting all the blame on him, and I think it's not right and not fair.
It's interesting because I agree with Joy what you're saying as far as, like, Russ should or could get the blame. That's fair. I don't have as much of an issue, though, with Russ getting blame as I do with him getting benched.
Bench is crazy.
That's where I have my issue, because I went back and I had to do my homework. Okay, Russ is making a lot of money, so he should be held accountable accordingly. But I said, who else is making a lot of money this year? And how many wins do they have? Joe Burrow, he's making a lot of money this year. But he only got 5 wins. He got hurt. It's part of it. Best ability is availability. Herbert, he making a lot of money this year. He only got 5 wins. Best ability, availability. Now Lamar, shout out to him, making a lot of money this year. I would suggest that he is the one quarterback who is living up to the hype of his money, both by wins and by play. Because Jalen Hurts, he's making a lot of money this year, and he has taken a wild step back statistically. We'll talk about that later. Then there's Russ. Making a lot of money this year, 7 wins. More than Burrow, more than Herbert, more than the name I'm about to mention in Kyler Murray. Making a lot of money this year. He got 2 wins. And lastly, Deshaun Watson making a lot of money this year, and he got 5 wins. We've blamed all of those individuals. More so blame Deshaun, more so blame Herbert, more so blame Kyler. We don't really blame Burrow. But it's not about, for me, blaming them as it is about benching.
Lamar Jackson is leading the AFC North. Just take him out. Just beat the best team in football. So let's not talk about Lamar Jackson. He earned the money before. He won league MVP, and he's leading the AFC. Joe Burrow was in a Super Bowl and an AFC Championship game. So he got hurt. Maybe we take him out. Let's just take him out, right?
Taking him out from what?
From us blaming him for this year, for us holding him to the same level that we're talking about with Russell Wilson. He was just in a Super Bowl and then an AFC Championship game. Can we just take him out? Like, there's no reason that Joe Burrow wouldn't be the quarterback of the Bengals in 2 years.
Of course, of course.
So we'll take him out. Herbert just signed a brand new deal. He's in his 5th year in the league, 6th year in the league. He's going to be the quarterback of the Chargers in 2 years.
Agree?
Likely. Okay. So let's take him out. Jalen Hurts has 11 wins. Let's take him out. They might still win the NFC in their division. They'll be in the playoffs. He was in the Super Bowl last year. Let's take him out. So who can we really compare here? Kyler Murray.
Kyler just got back.
Kyler Murray, right? We give Kyler Murray all kinds of blame, all kinds of it. We give him hell. Kyler Murray, we hold him to that standard. Deshaun Watson, I don't even know how or where to even approach that situation. I guess we'll evaluate it next year. We didn't evaluate the year before, where you can't evaluate it this year. I guess we'll find out if that's bad next year. But all these other guys that you mentioned have either earned it very, very recently or will absolutely be the quarterback of their team in 2 years. Russ has not put anything on paper to guarantee that he should be the quarterback of the Broncos in 2025. So when you're talking about why this decision to bench him was made, it's about money. It's not sexy, but it's about money. They're not talking about right now. They're not even talking about next year. They're worried about being on the hook for $35 million in 2025.
My only dilemma, we talked about this pre-show, James, take the word after it. It's not that I disagree, it's just that the logic is flawed as it pertains to the National Football League. Because what Russ has done recently, elongated, what he's done is more than Kyler, is more than Deshaun, is more than Herbert. Even if you want to talk about playoff wins, Kyler, Herbert, Deshaun. So I just have the issue saying that he should get benched or even counting his money because them other cats that's getting paid, James, they're not delivering.
So really quick, and I know money is a big thing in this right here, but when a guy gets benched, the coach meets with you and he say, you ain't playing good football, right? You're not doing this right. You're not doing this right. The team is better with blah, blah, blah. So for me, for Sean Payton to bring Russ into the meeting, into his office and say, we're benching you because of blah, 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 blah. You can't say that because Russell Wilson has been playing good football this year. They brought you, I believe you took this job because Russell Wilson was there, right? Everybody all offseason said you are the one to get Russell Wilson right. Well, you were. Russell Wilson was playing at a high level. This is year one. So you can't tell me that Russell Wilson is not going to play better in your system year two, and you probably going to get more guys. So for me, I want to put all the money to the side and just remember everything that Coach Payton has said. And when you really listen to everything Coach Payton has said beyond what Russ is due, he was never his guy.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.